Hi there, this is Bobby from Ragged Poet and we're on to LenorMarch day 9, talking about trees and clouds. So I'm going to look at the trees first. So I've got out a few trees from some of my deck collection. This is my magic wand pointer stick. This is the Lenormand's destroyed Dondorf deck. This is the Lilac Dondorf. The 7 Stars Samhain Lenormand. The Day of the Dead Lenormand. The Parisian Lenormand. These two are from the 7 Stars Natalie Rose Yule Lenormand. They're two of my favourite trees, and this is the Beth Silonen's Indigo Pain Lenormand, which is quite different. Trees are, I think the traditional meaning of the tree is like roots and long-term things and genealogy, ancestors, DNA. All those things I would quite easily connect with the tree. The environment, not so much health, but I suppose the tree is a symbol of health, because if it's above ground then it's got all this health going on that you can physically see, or if it's suffering you can see it quite clearly, because the tree does look unhealthy, especially when your goats ring bark it. But with any symbolism, I'm not sure where all the symbolism behind the Lenormand came from, but it's actually pretty standard. I've studied art for many years, fairy tales, literature, and I have studied symbolism a lot. So trees obviously have got a lot of meanings, the tree of life being one of the main ones. Then there's the family tree. And all of these tie into the traditional Lenormand reading of the tree. So I guess when I think of a tree, I think of roots and strength. I think of oak trees. I think of England. I think of winter, because I love winter. And my favourite trees are trees like this one, really wintry and skeletal. I love the skeletons and the bare bones of the garden far more than I love the lush greenery of summer. I'm not quite sure why I'm like that, but I am. I still love and enjoy different seasons. I love autumn, but I just love, there's nothing quite like a stark silhouette of a tree against a stormy, thundery sky, and yeah, man. And the Christmas tree. When I was in England and as a kid, I loved Christmas. When my kids were small, I loved Christmas. So this Christmas tree card out of the 7 Stars Natalie Rose Yule Lenormand is, I love it. It's like the kind of Christmas tree we used to have, and we had amazing Christmases. And I really missed it when my kids were young and we had all these traditions going. Since we came to New Zealand, it hasn't quite been the same. Christmas in December is no longer cold, it's hot. The build-up feels all wrong. You go to the shop and they're all singing snowy winter carols, and you know, and you feel you want to be drinking hot toddy and stuff, but no, it's all icy cold things and there's no sign of snow, and it's just bizarre, you know, it's just weird. So I just can't do it anymore. So yeah, anyway, that's Christmas. Once again, I'm rambling away on a tangent, so let's move the trees out of the way and look at some clouds. Now, cloud wise, from the same decks, we've got Lenormand's destroyed Dondorf, the, what's that one? Oh yeah, the Lilac Dondorf, the old Parisian deck, 7's Samhain deck, the Natalie Rose deck, and the Day of the Dead and the Indigo Pain deck. And the Day of the Dead is pretty funky. I mean, you can see that's very, very psychedelic. Look at that. The Indigo Pain one I really like because it reminds me of Scotland. and the lochs and the highlands and the mountains, although it's also very like New Zealand because we have a lot of that. I've noticed, talking of clouds, that the sun just came out from behind the clouds, so I'm using natural light from the window, and it may distort this lighting, but just go with the flow. It's all hidden there in the shadows somewhere. Clouds, well, yeah, they talk about, it's got quite a negative association, I think, in Lenormand. Shadowy, obscurity, and which, yeah, they're all good things. I did read another meaning, and I can't remember where now. And sometimes we see things in clouds that we can't see without them. I'm a member of the Cloud Appreciation Society and the Blue Skies Are Boring Brigade. I like cloudy skies. You can see lots of things in clouds. You can, again, symbology, you can see lots and lots of different things. You can see patterns and amazing stuff. Whereas in a blue sky, you just see blue sky, and it really does get boring, and it can be really oppressive, just as oppressive as clouds. So I think clouds have a bad reputation, which I'm going to be fighting against. Clouds rock. Yep, they can obscure things. I don't like them at night when I'm trying to see a new moon or some other astronomical spectacular thing. That's pretty bad. But on the whole, I like them. I love clouds. I love rain clouds. I love, after the scorching summer, clouds are very welcome. Like really thundery days. And I'm just going to read you a poem now, because that's what I do. This is by a Kiwi New Zealand poet called Hone Tuwhare, and it's about rain. And if you've never, I don't know anyone who doesn't really enjoy rain, but this just, well, listen. Rain. I can hear you making small holes in the silence, rain. If I were deaf, the pores of my skin would open to you and shut, and I should know you by the look of you if I were blind. The something special smell of you when the sun cakes the ground, the steady drum roll sound you make when the wind drops. But if I should not hear, smell, or feel, or see you, you would still define me, disperse me, wash over me, rain. I think that's so beautiful. Anyway, as I said, that's off at a tangent, but I had to share it because I was thinking of clouds and I thought of rain and I thought about that poem. Okay, so what does the tree and the clouds mean to me? That's the second part of the question for day 9 in LenorMarch. Looking at health and well-being, and how clouds have obscured my well-being. Well, most of my life I've battled with depression, quite severe depression, and I've only recently realised that the cloud, the obscurity that has caused a lot of this is a huge lack of self-worth. And as human animals, we do suffer from this. We suffer from self-worth. We feel we have to prove ourselves against something. And I shrunk into this nobody, and I felt I really had no value in life. And I overcame that by proving to myself in a really crazy way, like leaving everything I knew, my home, my family, my friends, and coming to this strange country with 4 children, aged 12 and under. I knew nothing about, and I didn't really know anyone here. It was a 9-day decision from leaving to come in, as I said before. But I landed here, and I then had to fight. I had to fight for everything. I had to look after my children on my own. Everything I did was done by me. And although sometimes I do get depression, I do have a sense of lack of self-worth, when I look back and think, my God, woman, you crossed the planet with 4 young kids on your own to this strange country, and okay, it was crazy and it was insane, but sometimes I think it saved my life. And yeah, I've had regrets, and it was a nutty thing to do, and I had huge guilt issues with it. But it proved to me that I am very able, I'm a very strong person, and I'm going to hold on to that now. So I pushed them old clouds out of the way by coming to Hone Tuwhare, the land of the long white cloud. So there's my meanings for trees and clouds. And on a lighter note, I was thinking about trees and clouds when I went to the mailbox this morning to post my voting form for whether we're going to have a new flag in New Zealand or not. And look what came. Dun, 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 dun. So, thinking of trees and clouds, I thought about the Marielle Tarot, which has been on and off my radar wish list since it was released in 2012. It stayed in the background, and recently on this, the Truth in Story & Co videos and the groups, the tarot community that we share, it's become very, very popular. And I've been enabled to finally get it. And when I was walking towards the mailbox, well, when I picked it up and I thought about the clouds and the trees, and I thought, hang on a minute, this deck is something that's my vision of this deck has been obscured over the years by the odd card I didn't like, or I don't know, just different opinions, like how people think clouds are bad things, and then suddenly I just saw it in this new light. It was like these people looking at it again pushed the clouds out of the way, and I saw through to this stunning artwork, and the book sounds pretty amazing. So looking at these two cards as to how I was going to work with the Marielle deck, I read, I've got the Caitlin Matthews Lenormand book I showed you, and her meaning for clouds, she has these things she called universal Lenormand or Lenormand universe readings, and the one for the clouds and the tree were, for the tree she has destined connection, which made me laugh because obviously I was destined to have this tarot deck. And the second one for the clouds was fateful confusion. So watch this space to see what happens there. And on that note, I'm going to go and trim my Marielle. So have an awesome day, evening, night, whatever. And I will, before I go, this is to show to dear Remco. Oh, you can't probably see it without me drinking my tea, but it's my unicorn mug that someone bought me. My little symbol on Messenger and stuff is a unicorn. And I'll leave you with another question. Horns or antlers? If you had a choice, would you have horns or would you have antlers? There we go. I'll tell you what I think next time. Bye!